this is potentially the first episode of Cooler's Corner, which is a name we've kicked around a bit today, haven't we?
Yeah.
But yeah, we thought we'll go through our main inspirations in magic, mentalism. And how did you actually start in mentalism? I know you started in magic first.
Yeah, I started in magic when my uncle showed me an elastic band trick, and I asked him how to do it, and he won't teach me how to do it, which is quite unfair, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously the golden rule though is don't reveal methods, which I have to respect. And then I went away, he gave me 2 weeks to learn it. Went home, learnt the effect, went to the library, I got every book I could find and went and learned pretty much everything from the books, which wasn't a lot, it was like kids' books.
Was it all magic books? Or
Yeah.
just random books?
Magic books, yeah.
Just learn everything from the library.
And I went back and shown him the elastic band trick and about 3 or 4 different card tricks, and then he gave me his whole collection of magic stuff. From there I started doing a few gigs here and there. I was practicing sleight of hand. I was never the best at sleight of hand, I can't lie. Like some of my moves are like more telegraphed than the most telegraphed thing in the world. And then I think I was always more like inclined with mentalism. I just never performed it like with the likes of Darren Brown and seeing him on TV. I think it was around COVID time when it actually started, when we did the first Zoom show, or the second Zoom show it was, when I actually first did full on mentalism.
You did everything proper, so didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, you had a deck of cards for an A-can, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But other than that, I remember that's all proper.
But yeah, like I was like more inclined to watch Darren Brown than say Dynamo or David Blaine, and obviously now there's a few people that I watch like Peter and Fraser Parker. Yeah, so I think that's how I got into, obviously when I first started magic as well, David Blaine was quite a big inspiration. I think he was to everyone really.
Yeah. Even without knowing.
Yeah, back in like 99, early 2000s.
Yeah, because I remember when we first met, obviously we met at the Magic Circle, didn't we, in Manchester? Yeah. And we obviously knew each other in passing before that, from where you worked. And it was Joshua J's lecture, wasn't it?
Yeah, the very first one.
That's when I come back to the Magic Circle, because I'd been a few times and kind of just like left it and been a few times, and it was for the sheer fact of Joshua J was the next one. I thought, shall I sign back up? And I looked at the Sibyllus or whatever they call it. I was like, not seen Joshua J. I thought, let's go see Joshua J.
I mean, I was quite intrigued like as to what Joshua J actually looked like then compared to what I'd seen him in previously.
Right.
Because like he was just like tall, skinny when I
he
first
was
seen
taller
him.
than I remember.
Yeah, he was. When I was like watching him on little DVDs that my uncle gave me and stuff, he was like tall, skinny, wore all these baggy clothes. And then I went and seen him. He's like in a like I won't say a dress shirt, but he's in like a nice shirt, normal fitting jeans, normal shoes, quite well presented. I'm not saying he wasn't well presented in the past, but he was like bigger than I expected as well. I was like,
a bit lanky, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But no, really nice guy. But yeah, so other than how did you transform from see the magic reference there, go from magic to mentalism? Because I think I've got an idea, but I'm interested to see.
I think it was just the first thing I did was I literally cleared out everything magic related I had. So like I don't know if you know a effect called interlace, where you take someone's ring and make it disappear and it appears in your shoelace.
Yeah.
I got rid of that. My coins, I got rid of all them. Any magic books I had, I got rid of them, apart from 2 which I didn't really want to get rid of.
Just a palm out of astonishment off on me.
Yeah. I mean, they're quite expensive books
They
though.
are, to be fair.
I mean, if I had all 3, then I could probably sell them on eBay for a bit more as a box set. But yeah, I just started learning, basically took what I knew, some things that I knew in like card tricks and stuff, and performed it in mentalism. Because there is obviously a few card tricks where they pick a card and you guess the card. But I think it was just a steady progression from the magic to the mentalism, in the sense of, like I said, just clearing out what I already had. So then the temptation was going to perform magic. If that makes no sense.
Yeah, you didn't have it to hand.
Yeah, I think it was just more. I've said it to you in the past as well about card tricks, and it's like I think the root of mentalism goes down like through the actual effect. It's it just interested me more than obviously not downplaying what magicians do, but take a card and you find the card like the plot is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Obviously, again, not disrespecting card tricks.
Better not do, bro.
No, because I mean, there's stuff you can do like when you get a shuffled deck and you floored me many times with it.
There's an interesting link that I've not only just found out, but we spoke about it a while. Where you were saying where you're going down the root and effect. So yeah, you pick a card, you lose it, and you find it. Or in mentalism, it's obviously different because a lot of it's you're relying on them, not really wanting to outdo you, but they want to help. They're gonna listen basically, not gonna mess around or whatever. And some people just don't get it. It's nothing on them. They just aren't capable of going. Oh, now I've got to think of this and then think of that first. Boy's name first. You know
yeah, the process can be quite elongated when it comes to mentalism as well. But I think that's what you're saying basically.
In a very elongated way.
Yeah.
But we've mentioned it, like how magicians are. Me as a card magician have too many or a lot of ways. If anything did go wrong, we could recover it. And in mentalism, it's very tricky. Other than just making it as a miss and just moving on. I reckon there's more chances and opportunities for a card guy or even a coin guy to kind of get out of a miss.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we spoke about the different reactions you can get as well, didn't we, at one point, where when doing mentalism, it can seem like your material's falling flat compared to when you're doing
a little bit see-through, like.
No, not even like that, like just reaction based, like, because it's like when you see people like David Blaine or say Ben or Dynamo doing a trick.
Yeah, I see.
It's like sort of like an outburst of emotion and reaction where because you're just seeing a card go into the middle of the deck face up and it's just appeared back on top of the deck, which is not something you see every day. It's like, but when you do mentalism and you nail the name or the number or whatever it is you're picking up on, it's more of an internal reaction.
I was literally about to say that. Because they've got the visual of a card changing or something disappearing, transforming, and then when they're there, they've got to take a few seconds to internalise. Yeah. Wow, how did they get that? And then by that point, they've probably done it inside and not let it out.
Yeah, basically.
Some people obviously do because you've had some good. Good reactions. That.
The old pint pot's always good for a reaction or free.
Or 33. I'll be back in a minute, 20 minutes later, they're still over there at the table.
That night was a good night, like, as I said, I think I've performed the same effect like 3 or 4 different times to the same people and got the same reaction every single time.
Why does it go away? Right, let us drink now.
I was getting free drinks that night as well, it was good.
Yeah.
And then I went home and got a proper disgusting kebab. Felt like it was still alive.
And you threw it halfway home. Not even halfway, just down the road, like, I'm not having that.
I was really disappointed.
I just eat my pizza, I was like, well, I'm having this. You're not having any of this.
It was swimming.
Yeah. So, do you reckon now you've had the toes in the magic, some sort of, I won't say principles, methods, basic sleights and understanding, do you reckon you can use that in most tricks, like you say, just using the James Tomlin Mentalism business cards as a replacement for cards?
Well, there's always a debate about playing cards and stuff in mentalism, isn't there? Like whether they should belong in mentalism, which
that's another video.
It is another video. There's a lot of tangents, but before obviously tarot cards were invented, playing cards were used to tell tarot.
So, I don't know.
I've heard that. So basically, it's if you're not using them for sleight of hand and you're just using them as a point of reference for them to think of something, I don't see why not. There's a lot of debates in mentalism, like propless versus obviously propped effects, playing cards,
gimmick versus purist.
Well,
purist sleight of hand versus gimmick sleight of hand. Yeah,
it's just Basically, so you use what you can to serve the purpose is what I'm.
We had this a long time ago where it's because I would put a lot of roadblocks in my thinking.
Yeah.
As you know, it's got to be a shuffled deck of cards. No marked decks, no stacks or anything, like full deck stacks or anything like that. And it's like, can I still do this trick with a normal deck? And it forces you into different presentations or moves or something like that. And yeah, it's using what I already know in a different way, outside the box kind of thing.
Yeah, when you're talking about stuff like that, it's like I'd always leave the house with a deck of cards and my billets, or even when I was doing magic, I'd just leave my house with like a deck of cards. And nowadays, I can just leave the house with a stack of billets, a pen, or sometimes nothing. Just take a pen.
But do you remember when you obviously when you first start magic?
Yeah.
And you've got your invisible deck, you've got your normal deck, you've got a blue deck so you can swap it in the cooler, ring in the cooler. You've got pens, sponge balls, exactly. And like you say, because of a lot of the material I make and do, I can literally just do it with one deck, and I could do it with a brand new deck. So if anyone's like, "Oh yeah, show us a trick," it's like, "Well, say borrowed deck, don't I?"
Yeah.
But yeah, I could just leave with one deck. That's it, and do a lot of tricks.
That's the thing, though. It's like, obviously, when I don't know about you, but I did when I did my first couple of gigs. Pocket management was not a thing. Like,
you learn
every pocket full.
Yeah.
Whereas now with this, I could just literally take that, and then that's me set for a gig. Obviously, if they need them to calculate anything, they've got their own phones. They can calculate on there.
Yeah.
And then that's what I mean. It's just knowing what you need and what you can do, and just being able to be comfortable with what you know.
And in a way, circling back as well, you've kind of limited yourself on stuff you're using.
Yeah.
So where I'm limiting myself on, it can't have a pass, it can't have this, it's got to be shuffled by them, both sides of it. You're limiting yourself on that. So that would force you into different presentations. You know what I mean? That's without you know.
That's what I mean. Like, if one day I don't take the billets, or even the cards, like let's take a deck of cards and a pen, I can always get them to write down on a card.
Ooh, I don't know.
I mean, you see some of my decks where I've been out and I've got the everything written on them. I think someone wrote the word fish on it at one point.
The 4 diamonds.
Yeah.
I remember that card.
Someone, obviously, people have written the pin codes down and stuff, and it's like, I really shouldn't keep that card. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to do anything with the pin. I need the card first.
Yeah.
This is the next one.
Trying to put the playing card in the hole. It's not working. It's not working.
This is the next one. Just sleep. Just give me all your stuff.
Robin Hood. Robbing people.
Well, no, even if I don't have a deck of cards or billets, I can just simply say, okay, think of the first melee that pops into your head, right on my hand, and then the next, I just add it as another tattoo.
And then it's a prediction for the next person, isn't it?
Yeah. But I feel like the Joshua J in lecture, circling back to that, some of the stuff he showed me in there was like, it floored me. Like, I think it's the first time I've ever seen magic performed that close from. Me uncle's showed me tricks, but it wasn't as good.
Because that was your first ever one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was like your first time with. That was it, yeah.
In a professional environment, so that was my first.
Like professional magician.
Yeah. Like I had a mentor when I was first getting started, which is a pretty good story actually. My mum went to an awards evening in the Lowry, and they had a group of magicians on called the Men in Black. But no, Magicians in Black, sorry, they were called. That's the thing of the film. There was 3 of them, and my mum spoke to one of them and said, "My son does magic. Would you mind meeting him and just giving him some help and some tips?" Within a week's time, he goes down to my mum's house. He brought the Magic Circle magazines, like a big stack of them for me. I brought me loads of DVDs. Like, he taught me a few tricks whilst I was there, and we used to have like FaceTime calls like we do now for like 3 hours, 4 hours on the phone. If I ever needed help, I could ring him up.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, like, I'd seen him do magic, but it was more in a like laid back environment like we are now. And he actually taught me my very first day camp, which was like too long winded. At that time, that moment in time, I thought, mate, this is the best thing I've seen in my life. And you even had like an open prediction as well. So it's like, but no, it's just too gimmicky, too set up. I prefer it to just be like nice, streamlined, clean.
Yeah.
So from that point now, I've got like 4 or 5 different ways of doing ACANs, if not more.
You think about it.
But then, obviously, you wouldn't be nowhere if you didn't have the help along the way, would you?
No.
And that night as well, if I knew you was going to be there, I would not have sat at the bar and drank as much beer as I did that night before that lecture. I literally went in there, knew not a soul, and I was just sat at the bar just waiting for it to start.
Yeah.
I think I poured more than enough money into that place.
Yeah, it's a strange place, isn't it, the Magic Circle? Because I remember when I was in college is when I first started, like 2009. I mean, one of my first ones was Daniel Garcia, as you know.
I'm sad I missed that one.
Yeah, well, probably weren't even in Magic at that point. That sounds dead old, that, doesn't it?
I mean, I think I was, like, you're not much older than me.
Well, we didn't know each other at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't remember if that was the first one or it was one of the first ones, and then I think because I stopped going to college, I wasn't in Manchester as much, so it was just a bit of a chore, like once a week getting down there. And obviously I was doing other things. But when I signed back, like I said, I'd done it a few times, I just kind of fell out of it again. And that one time with Joshua J, I remember, as you remember, you go in where it used to be, do a left into like the hall bit.
Yeah.
And it's just the people there, dead nice, you know what I mean, like once you get talking, but a lot of people have just got their own little packs, haven't they? And like they know who they're speaking to and everything. I remember just trying to get talking to a few people, talking to a guy who did cruise ships, and then he said, "So what do you do?" And I was like, I'm just an amateur." And the kind of conversation got killed there. I was like, "Oh, okay, I see how it is."
Yeah.
Which is why I was sat at the back, you were sat like a few forward, and then I don't know what it was. If you just turn around, just looking around.
Yeah, I think I looked.
We just caught eyes. I was like, "I know you," and we'd never actually spoke really. Like I said, we just in passing, we just cordial, as you call it. And I was like, "What are you doing?" He said, "What are you doing?" I was like, "What's happening?" We just got talking from then, and since then it's like, you've not shut up.
No, I don't shut up anymore. I used to, in my own space I was loud.
Podcast.
In my own space I'm always loud, but I'm quite shy when you first see me. May not come across as the shy type, but I am.
No.
So, we're at like nearly 20 minutes. Should we cut there and then come into the next topic, which is now in my mind?
Yeah, we'll just stop and start that. I'll just edit this out. Just make sure it's still recording. For some reason, it's 21 minutes. That can go for like an hour, that mate. So as long as we've not got multiple videos to edit, we can just edit the sounds.
Yeah.
I'll stay like this as well, because my leg will just jump up one.
Ready?
Yeah.
So the next topic I was gonna bring up, because it's something that I've gone through as well. What do you think is the cause of falling in and out of love with magic, mentalism, or just anything in general, really?
That is a good question.
Because I've done it a few times.
Same, falling in and out, getting back into the magic circle. I've done it many times.
Well, the magic circle I left and never went back. I think it was during COVID when he moved to Cheadle. Yeah,
it's moved on. But they did well trying to do the Zoom lectures.
The Zooms were good. The Zooms were good.
Mark Elsden, who I nearly went out with at one point. You know what I mean? Like on a night out. That would have been.
See, I missed a few of the Zoom ones though, due to obviously work commitments.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. There was that one. Mark Elsden, Andy Dean, and Joel Dickinson, which was really good.
I think they were the.
And in fact, we'll circle back because I've not actually told you how I got into magic.
Oh, you never did you?
All you, James.
It's all me. It's
but
tangents.
Andy Dean plays a vital part in it. Absolute legend. Shout out to Andy Dean. So, I don't know. You know the story of my neighbour, don't you?
Giving you the tricks.
So I was in Blackpool with my family, and I was watching United versus Everton. And if you know me, I have got no interest in football whatsoever. So in the build-up, we was in, I think it was called the Sandcastle. It's like a bar right next to the Pleasure Beach, or it might be called the Pleasure Beach, I can't remember. And I said to my mum, can we just go out for a walk on the front, because I'm not really bothered about this, and she won't bother. She said, yeah, let's have a walk. And we ended up in a Tommy Cooper joke shop, I think it was.
Whereabouts is that? Is that still there?
No, it's not. It's where, you know where Ripley's, believe it or not, is. And you
Yeah.
like pizza up. I think it was, maybe not where that is, but it's on that bank of shops.
Because there's a magic shop towards the back in the back of the Pleasure Beach. I don't think it's like an actual magic shop because it's like a
it's like a joke shop.
Yeah, there's like an adult section in the back as well.
Oh no, I don't think it was. I think I know, like vaguely where you are, but no, it was just called Tommy Cooper Magic or Tommy Cooper Joke Shop. And we went in. And it says having a look and whatever, and there's a guy doing magic at the counter, and he did this trick right where he had a deck of cards, and he's showing us all the deck of cards, and he's put one card there that was red, yeah. And he said, right, just think of a number 1 to 10, 10 to 20. So I did, counted down to it, whatever. I can't remember the full trick. And he put the deck of cards there. He said, oh look, and your card is the 2 of spades. I was like, okay. He said, look at my card, and the red card, 2 of spades. I was like, wow. He said, but that's not all. He said, look, and if you spread the deck, there was no cards there. Every card was blank. He said, but look, if you take this 2 and rub it to that 2, they both turn red. And I was absolutely floored, right? And I learned a very important magic lesson that day, because I said, how much is that? And he said, £45.
I mean,
and I had money from the spends money for my holiday, and I got it. I was only about 12 or 13, but I got it. And I remember having to go back because I was sat in this pub when United were on, trying to get, you get that little sheet of paper that's folded up inside the plastic bag, and I was like, Mum, I can't get this card to change red. Like, how does this card change red? We had to go all the way back for the guy to tell us it doesn't really change red. You just hide it to make it look blue at the start. And then I was like, oh, magic lesson number 2. It's like, oh man. So through that, I started learning tricks or whatever. And then where I lived, there's only 6 houses. We lived like second from the right in the end. Then at the further end, the real end, one of my neighbours, one of those guys that you don't really, dead nice, you know, him and his wife and everything, but you don't really talk to, because they was older, you know what I mean? I was a kid at that point. They spoke to my mum and everything. And one time, you know, I won't say his name because he's no longer with us, like, rest in peace. But my mum said, yeah, such and such is at the door for you. And my heart dropped. I was like, what have I done? I thought he was going to bat me. I don't know why. I was like,
always the way,
why does he want me? You know what I mean?
You've done nothing wrong at that age, you do nothing wrong, and then someone wants you, it's like, well,
yeah.
what?
Me? So she's like, yeah, he's at the door, he wants to have a chat with you. And that's exactly how she meant, he wants to have a chat with you. And I was like, whoa, okay. And then he was like, I said, your mum said you started to do magic. And I thought he just wanted to see the trick that I had. Yeah. I was like, okay. And he said, he's doing magic. And I was like, well, getting into it, he's like, come to mind in about 5 minutes. And I was like, right, thinking he just wants me to go and show him and his mates a trick or whatever. And then I went round, like, nervous with a deck of cards in my hand. And he was like, yeah, come in. Took me in the kitchen, whatever. I had this toolbox, and he just opened it, and it was like that scene on the briefcase in Pulp Fiction. And he was like, yeah, do you want any of that? And I was like, you do magic as well? He's like, yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? That people, it's kind of like when, I always talk about when you're a kid, when I was a kid, no one wanted to admit there was a wrestling fan. But as soon as you got talking to someone, it's all you could talk about. It was like a secret thing.
Yeah, I had the same thing, like...
Yeah. So same with magic as well. Like, it's amazing how many people either know the odd trick or they know such and such who does magic. So it's like, no way, like, you know, he does magic as well. So he let me take home a few DVDs just to practice them, not to keep. And he did give me one thing. He was like, yeah, I don't really want that, you can keep it. And it was just like this thing where you put as thread a bolt, and then you put it in like this tube, shake it, and then dump it out, and then it's unthreaded. Really cool. Obviously, it's not what I do now, but it was really nice of him. And he also said, I said like, where do you get your stuff? And he mentioned a place called the Magic Cavern in Bolton. So he was like, yeah, here's the address, here's the number, ring him, tell him you're coming. I was like, alright, cool. So I went down there maybe a week or two later with my dad and seen Andy Dean there. And I didn't know he was just Andy then, you know what I mean? And that become like the regular haunt. But it had some weird opening times. We'd go there and it wasn't open, then we'd go there and it was, and it was like, alright, okay. Or it would be shut on a day it should be open. I think just because of the staff shortages or staff problems. But it was a really good resource, I suppose. So when I went in there, and the nicest guy you can meet, and met me and my dad, and he was just saying, you know, what do you want to do? And I was like, I want to be David Blaine. I just said, what do card magic? And he's like, right, okay, so you need a good deck of bikes, and he gave me a blue deck of bicycle cards. He's like, that's what you need. And the Royal Road to Card Magic said that will get you started, that will be your Bible, is how we referenced it. I was like, mint. So I think it was like, what, 4 or 5 quid for that, 13 quid for Royal Road.
That's cheap, that, compared to what it would be now, though.
Yeah. And that's all I got from the first time going there. And I've been back on my own or with my actual neighbour. Like, you know, we went a few times. But yeah, that's how I got started. So when I was watching it on Zoom, it come up like who is it? Andy Dean and Joel Dickinson. I just knew him as Andy. You know what I mean? I know Andy. And then when was it? I remember I was sat on the couch with the laptop watching the thing, right? And they're like, this Andy, he looks familiar. Right? And he said something, and because of his accent, it's like proper Yorkshire accent. As soon as he said it, it's not like ringing true of what he said in the past. He just said it. I went, "That's Andy from Magic Cavern." He just like boom. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And then I think I put something on the chat about Magic Cavern, but he didn't answer it. But he was like talking about, "Oh yeah, Magic Cavern, yeah." So he referenced like that he knew about it. I thought, oh, no way, it's the same guy. So I texted my dad, I was like, sent him a picture, like, do you remember Andy at Magic Cavern? This is it.
Yeah, I've been to one magic shop in my time, and it was all the way in Stockport. I had to get a train there.
Was it Davenport's?
I can't remember.
I've always got to go there.
Is it James Anthony or Anthony James?
Yeah. I think that.
I think it's towards the back end of Stockport. Like the train station is literally opposite, I believe.
Right.
I'll have to find.
It's closed now, though. Isn't it? If it is Davenport, I'm sure.
I don't think it was Davenport's. I got World Magic Shop in my head for some reason.
Oh right.
But I'll find out the name and I'll tell you.
We should come.
Yeah, we will go actually.
We'll vlog it.
Yeah, back it's payday next week.
I'm off tomorrow. So are you?
Well, I am, but I can't go down tomorrow.
We'll cut that bit.
Yeah, we'll cut that out. That's fine.
It's coughing off.
So, falling in and out of love with magic and mentalism.
Yeah.
I'll let you go first, seeing as I went off on a few tangents. And
I was about to say I went off on another tangent.
Didn't let you get your words in.
But just quickly though, so like we spoke about how you got into it and went from magic to mentalism. When I first got into it, obviously, the first thing I got was a trick deck. You know what I mean? Like with that trick from Blackpool. And the first time I got a good deck of cards, I could appreciate like what you can do with it.
Yeah.
It's like you get the right tools for the trade, don't you? So ever since then, I'd buy Invisible deck or Phantom deck or something obviously gimmicked, Svengalis or Stripper or whatever. And then it was only I remember us speaking during COVID, where I not really found out about Ben Earl, but I just kind of signed up to one of his courses. I kind of knew about him anyway. And the things you can do with a normal deck, like the thinking, and it's amazing. That changed my whole aspect of my whole outlook on making magic and performing as well, just with a normal deck. And obviously people like Christian Grace, Ollie Mealing. Christian Grace doesn't use a lot of standard decks, but not standard decks, but like shuffle deck, this, that. A lot of them are very clever methods to hide the fact it's partly shuffled or it's not fully, you know. And just learning all those, being a sponge, I'd say that's where I'm at the moment.
But I was quite surprised with the likes of Ollie Beale and Christine Grace, that the effects that some of the effects that they have that would cross over or transcend into mentalism as well, because of the aspects and the, I wouldn't say methodology, but like
presentation,
the presentations,
what we're talking about, theme. Yeah. No, definitely, totally agree. So it was falling out of love with magic. Yeah. So I'll let you go first, then, since I've spoke a bit too much now.
To be quite honest, though, like, I can't actually explain it. I think that's why
That's the end of that.
No, that's why I think I wanted to bring it up, is because I can't actually explain like what it is. Like, you just, with me, it was just like at one point I was like really, really into it, and then it's like I just left it alone for a while. I mean, one of the times it was obviously because my children were born and I was obviously busy and wanting to enjoy fatherhood without having any distractions in the background. But then each time I pick it back up again, I find I'm actually not trying to be big-headed, but I'm better than I was, or I'm more inclined to actually want to learn, and
I got something to add to that
than I was last time. Like this time, obviously you can see it yourself, like I'm more dedicated to it now than I have been in the past.
Yeah.
Like all the things we've got in the pipeline now, it's like I would say in the past I'd say but it wouldn't come to fruition. Where
because we had all these conversations about a year and a half ago, maybe still during COVID as well, coming out of COVID, and like I say, for whatever reason life gets in the way, especially with me as well. But it's one of those things where you fall out of love with it and you don't notice it. You know what I mean? It's just like, I've not done a trick for a while, I've not learned it, I've not watched anything for a while. But for me, a lot of people describe it as a burnout, don't they?
Yeah.
It's like monotonous, go home, deck of cards, shuffling while you're watching telly, or annoying everyone you know. I've learned this new trick, and it's like, I don't know what it is either. It's just this one time where you feel like, it's like when you don't, there's that meme that I've seen where it's like, I wish I knew I was in the good times, because when I found out I wasn't in them, it was too late. Something along those lines. Yeah. It's like, can you remember the last time you played with an action man? Or like a figure from your childhood?
About 12.
But can you remember the exact day?
No.
But that day, you went, played that, okay, I'm never going to pick that up again.
Yeah, you do.
You don't do it as a conscious choice.
No, you do it.
You just move on to the next thing, whether it be computer games or, don't even know what would it be after that.
I remember when I first got totally off the record there. But I remember
off the record, a conversation, because that's
no, just conversation.
Okay.
I remember the first time I got a PlayStation. Oh my god, I lived like a hermit. Like I lived like a proper trump. I was just sat in my room.
Was it Tomb Raider?
No, it was actually WWE. You know.
Was it SmackDown?
Just Bring It. Oh, Here Comes the Pain. One of the two.
That was PS2, wasn't it?
Yeah, PS2.
Oh right, I thought you meant PlayStation like 1.
No, PS2. Yeah, because I got the my dad got it for me and my brother to share for one Christmas, because it was tight. I just didn't want to buy two.
You had to share it for that one Christmas, or was it for the Christmas to share?
For Christmas to share.
Just for that one day.
And you got the Solcom US Navy SEALs bundle.
Right.
So I just absolutely killed that game out, and then I went on to SmackDown wrestling games, and I was actually just sat there, just like day in day out, just playing it. We won't give you like an hour limit on the PlayStation a night. I was like still like 5 hours later. It's like, oh no, one more match, please.
Yeah, that's called an addiction, that, bro.
Yeah, but then since like getting older, like I never really bothered with it. Like, you know, I literally just got rid of my PS4 because I never played it.
Yeah,
just sat there collecting dust.
I very rarely play on games or anything. I use it for other things like YouTube and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was doing at one point.
It's easy, isn't it?
But back off the tangent, back onto conversation.
But yeah, so like I say, regarding falling out of love with it, I think when we was doing the Zoom shows in lockdown, I kind of fell out of love with it a bit towards the end of the last one, only because of how it was run.
Yeah, the process was quite.
That's another conversation for another day. But it just took the joy out of it, rather than, right, we've got 15 minutes each, let's just all create a set. And I say all, there was 3 of us, wasn't there? So there was like another person. And we'll just jam ideas and show each other, and it got a bit regimented to, we're here for an hour, and then 10 minutes we're going to talk, and then 20 minutes we're going to do this, and then 5 minutes at the end we're going to show each other sets. Like, no, it just got boring. So it felt more like a job for something you're not going to get paid for.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like, nah. So then the second one come around, because we was all on the high of the first one, thinking, yeah, it was mint, which was really good. And then the second one come around, and it was like, do I want to do another one now? Is it just going to be like that? Which it wasn't. You know what I mean? We was all on the same page, and it was a lot smoother then. But I think because we went into it too quick from the last one, maybe just body was just still feeling it, mind was still feeling it, and then it's a total different set as well. So it's another 15-20 minute set you had to get together. But yeah.
The only thing that put me off with it is it was more like a job, but it was like we have to get this ready, we have to get this ready, we have to get ready. Which I understand, it was like giving each other, delegating roles to each other, and like sharing the workload, where obviously you would be doing a lot of the creative stuff, and obviously then I was put on the social media bit. I just don't think the roles needed to be given like out quite professionally.
As long as everything got done.
Yeah. But no, I understand why it was done that way, to make it better than the last one, which is what you always want to do, better what you've done previously. But I think we had the idea of doing the actual, which we're in talks with doing now, which was the actual Hangout live.
Yeah.
Which I think would give us a lot more creative freedom, rather than obviously just having all these roles that we need to fill out.
Yeah, definitely. And without the medium of a screen as well. That's another thing about setting limits for yourself, because you remember the effects I did.
Yeah.
You know, my tricks all involve half the time take the deck, shuffle it, and deal
hands
down,
off,
hands feel. And then when I was trying to rework that for stuff where I'm like, okay, tell me when to stop, you know, and it's like it was the best of a bad situation. We still did it, you know what I mean? 2 of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of like not the magic I had. I think that might have been the reason why I got a little bit of fallout of it, because it's like, you know, the area of magic I've created and I want going, and it's not ambitious card in your hand, stand up and blah blah blah. It's like sit down on a table, more of a space, like a little stage or whatever, and a few other spectators as well. It's not just one-on-one, it's like everyone jump in and get involved. And I couldn't really showcase that in that medium.
Yeah, I think again, like obviously that sort of performance space isn't for your kind of sets and your kind of effects, but the only person who out of the 2 of us who would benefit or who wouldn't lose anything through that would be me, because mine's just more like spoken word. Don't really need anything. Like obviously people have a pen and paper to hand so you can write stuff down for evidence. I've got cards and stuff I can
tactic on it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's just what performance space and environment suits each performance style, I don't really.
Yeah. And it was only the other day, wasn't it, that I was showing you where I did a trick called the fairest card trick in the world, and I only showing you the seed where that come from the other day, then from Ryan Schluts, if anyone knows that one. That's an incredible setup. But yeah, it's a totally different method. It wasn't the same method. It was just the idea of the fairest card trick in the world. So what was it? You drop cards, flip them over, put them in a box, shake them so they're out of your control.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then magic happened. I won't say that.
But no, I am looking forward to what we've got planned for the future now.
Yeah, we've got some good ideas, some insight as well. Like we've already got stuff filmed for it.
Yeah.
To a degree, like got some footage and stuff. It's just piecing it together, seeing what we want to make. Is it going to be another episode on your channel? Is it going to be something like this, or like a one-off, or we just don't know.
No, we could.
That's a fun way to be in, though.
Yeah, I don't think we can drop too many clues as to what we've got going.
No,
spoil the surprises already. Like,
yeah, you're pregnant.
I mean, yep. As you can clearly tell, it's all baby weight over.
Spoiler alert!
It's a girl. Well, no, it's all coming together slowly but surely. I think I'm just more excited about doing a live show, maybe.
Yeah, I like the idea of that.
I mean, we have inquired about rooms as well, so
yeah,
and we'll keep it hush hush from there.
Well, you can't talk about it and then say keep hush hush.
Yeah, no, well I can.
Well, you give like the idea away anyway, so it's.
Yeah, but they don't know. It's like, we'll just cut that out, it's fine.
Well, no, because I'm not going to cut it out just for morals.
Fair play.
You're going to have to tell them that.
So basically, we was out the other day getting some B-roll, and we went to a local pub.
This is actually the second podcast.
Yeah, it is.
Well, no, it's actually the first one we're recording because we were speaking about methods on that.
Yeah, so we can't show that one.
Yeah, sorry.
This
is 1.5.
So we went to the Ape and Apple in town, and by the time we finished recording, and
that place, man.
Very, very nice. It's very classy as well, by the looks. We just said to each other, should we just go and inquire about our room? So we did.
Well, let's have a function room.
Function room, yeah. And we did also say we could just use the, if we don't get enough people, we could just use a corner, didn't we?
Yeah, a corner with a table, which is all I need. So I'm saying.
It's really comfy seats as well, so it's really it's beneficial for your back as well.
Yeah. Because he was saying as well, how many people, and we only thought like 30 to 50. That's our push. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's a parlour audience, isn't it? And that's the stuff like we'd only do in the Hangout. I could do literally the Hangout set, rejig it to involve people rather than just me doing the tricks. And yeah, everyone could be able to see and just, I already got it in my head how we saw it. And we can video it, and we've got our mics and stuff, and I won't scratch it or anything, but we've invested in little mics, so the video quality is going to be better, and when we're out performing, we can hear. Because if you've not seen the episode 1, that's the worst thing about it. I'm not saying it's bad at all, but the other thing about it that had changed is the fact that we should have recorded it after we got mics.
Yeah, we should have. We didn't think about the actual audio, did we?
No.
But again, it's a learning curve.
Yeah,
so we're basically learning on the job.
Yeah.
Which, can I just say, the actual episode 1 has pretty much doubled in numbers in less than a day.
So it's up to 4.
It's up to 6 now.
Nah, good man, good.
But yeah, so we basically said, back to the Ape and Apple, he basically said, just let us know a date, really, didn't he?
I thought he was talking about Ape
Ape
and Apple.
No.
So back to what?
Back to Ape and Apple. Yeah, so
Ape Hand's a trick, by the way.
Yeah, it's a really good trick, actually. He just basically told us to just let him know, didn't he? About the room.
Yeah. Let us know the date, and he actually asked us the date, and like we already had it planned. It's like, whoa, it's asking, bro.
Hold your horses. And I left out with a tagline of, just need a pack of cards, a table, I'm a man.
I knew that. What do you need? Him.
just see this guy.
Yeah.
So
it's the camera.
So told the camera. But what we on now? We're on 25 minutes.
So that'll be 45 in total.
Yeah.
Got anything else we could round it for an hour, or should we just call it there?
I think we should call it there for now.
I got a quick one. It might actually be 15 minutes. Go on. We kind of touched on it like a few days ago about something to talk about, was the anxiety of performing.
Oh yeah.
Either approaching people, performing, or like the anxiety of basically being a performer of magic or mentalism. Because it's different if you're in a band. You're with people, and you got like a shield to a degree, or if you're a singer. I know like a few people mention it's something in front of you in the audience, so it's like a shield, and you're hiding behind the mic. But when you're in there, and it's like your hands are shaking, or you're fumbling over words, or not saying you do, but other people might. Yeah, like how would you notice that, and how would you deal with it?
I mean, I still get that same anxiety sometimes now. Like now, I feel I can just talk to anybody. I can speak to people. Like I could walk past someone and say hi or start a conversation with someone, but then when it comes to actually performing, that's where it's like, no, your body just shuts down.
Yeah.
I feel like it comes from maybe feeling like your material's not going to come over well. If something goes wrong, can you just bring it back? Will they then judge you based upon their mistakes?
Yeah.
So I feel like it's just like probably like maybe a singer gets the same anxiety. Like, would people like this song? How's this song going to come across to the main general audience?
Yeah, I see.
And I don't think when you look back at it as well, though, magic was, and I think Darren Brown's put it quite frequently in books. Like magic was the revenge of the nerd, in a sense. Like it's the person who didn't really have the confidence to speak to people. This would give them the confidence.
Like the icebreakers.
Yeah. I think there was a DVD. That's one of the DVDs my uncle gave me, was called Icebreakers.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was a.
Was it Dan Harlan?
I think it was. I think it was Dan Harlan.
Like on the spot tricks or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I vaguely remember something like that.
But we was watching something the other day, weren't we? And it's obviously Peter Turner. He said just put it wasn't actually Peter Turner, it was a guy he was talking to.
Yeah.
Said just put yourself in them positions, and I think
out your comfort zone.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna start doing myself, because whenever I've been out and like you said in the old pint pot, I've been drinking I'd had the courage from obviously drinking the whiskies, and which is, I won't recommend it to anybody because it's not a good thing to do, because you can't just show up to a game.
Use it as a crutch really, to start performing.
Yeah, I think you said it quite bluntly. It's like you can't just go to every gig and just get absolutely plastered and perform tricks.
I might have.
But then I think, again, like I said, I don't recommend anybody do it, but I think it was just out having a good time. I had a few whiskies, and then obviously one thing led to another, and disappeared for like a year, and just started doing mind reading to everyone in the pub. Yeah. But I do believe everyone gets it every now and then. Yeah. Or even, I think going off a little tangent, I think we went to town one night to try and get some filming done years and years ago.
Oh.
Yeah. When you actually brought your big camera out, and we went to the Hard Rock Cafe.
You mentioned it. I can't remember this. Come on.
We was near the Hard Rock. We went in the print works. I think we got told not to film in there.
Right. Yeah, probably because it's.
And we stood under Market Street where the food court is, and we was going to stop people. We was going to stop people, and how many people did I stop? Not a single one, because I couldn't do it.
But I couldn't. To be fair though, I couldn't. Like as your cameraman, wingman. I don't know. It should be like down for them to say, "Oh, do you want to see anything?" Because that might break the ice easier for you, because you haven't asked to ask, and you know the people that have stopped have got a genuine interest in what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like regarding the whole anxiety and stuff, for me, I've always looked at it saying like, I'm not an attention seeker. I've got no, it's just not in me to go, look at me. And I feel like if we was to go, say, do some street magic or get some filming, we'd need to do that to be able to get what we need, like the footage, and obviously providing awesome entertainment at the same time. It's not just the one-way street, but it's the fact of, like you say, you'd have to put yourself in that position to maybe feel like an attention seeker, but it's not. I might just be looking at it the wrong way, saying like you're providing a service in a way. Do you know what I mean? It's entertainment, because I've never been, I've always been shy, and I've never not really been confident. It's just they never mix well together. It's like if I'm really confident in one thing, I'll be very humble in it because it's like shy in it away. Because it's like, you know me, like I'll pull out a card trick and you go whoa, and I go yeah, made up like 3 years ago. It's like I will not show you until the time is right. You know what I mean? It's not like got this new trick, show you, look at this, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, all right, yeah, cool. I just need to drink a pint now. And it's like, no, I will show you when it is ready.
Whereas I'm the polar opposite. I'll message you or ring you at like 1 in the morning.
Are you okay to video call quick? 5 hours later, yeah, it's all right, James.
I think I messaged you like once. Like, was it like I'll try ring you at like 12, half 12 at night?
Standard, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, just watch this. Like, I've got this new thing here. Can I show it you real quick?
Or I get this call where it's got all numbers on it. I was like, what's this? It's just like 5 people in a call. It's like group call. I was like, okay, hi, Jesus' mum, hi.
Oh, that was a night when I literally performed to my brother, his girlfriend, and my mum, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think my brother and my mum were in the same house.
There was an echo, if I remember right.
But yeah, that's what I mean. You've always said to me like yours is not like street magic where you have done it in the past. It's not no more. It's more like you want to sit down, table.
Yeah. It's a bit more of a presentation than what goes in.
Yeah. I mean.